Vegas announced that Carter Hart has signed a PTO. And Dregs, you tweeted out and reported that is it's just a formality, and eventually he will sign a contract in Vegas. Is
correct. Look, I mean, like every team that's right up against the cap, I think that's really what the Vegas Golden Knights are working through, is to have the flexibility to bring him in. The expectation is that it'll likely be a 2-year contract for Carter Hart. And then that's just a stepping stone for him. There's no guarantee that Carter Hart is going to step into the Vegas Golden Knights crease and be better than Adin Hill or better than what they've had. But there's nothing but opportunity ahead for him either, right? You know, apparently he's talked about being in the best shape of his life. I would expect that to be the case physically. Seemed pretty calm through this process of coming back into the National Hockey League. So, you know, the Vegas Golden Knights are hopeful. Carter Hart is hopeful. And if you get through 2 years and maybe they win another Stanley Cup along the way, then, you know, he's talking about a much bigger contract and the potential of way bigger money.
Yeah, well, obviously it's caused quite the stir. And Pierre, I know you've been down there, Board of Governors, and you're always contacting, and so are you, Dregs, talking with the league. I mean, what is the league preparing in terms of what this is going to look like? Like Carter Hart's going to be in the NHL. I don't know if any of the other Team Canada players are close to signing or if there's teams kicking tires on them. You can tell us if they are. But how is the league approaching this into the future?
Yeah, so Gary Bettman was asked about this yesterday after the Board of Governors meeting in New York. And he kind of gave a pretty generic answer, just in the sense that, you know, we've announced our ruling. Everyone knows what the rules are. The teams understand where we are on this. And so teams will have to make their own decision, is essentially what the commissioner said, which is something he said a few times. And I don't want to read in between the lines when Gary Bettman says that, but I think what he's saying is understand, I guess, what you're getting into when you sign one of these players, I think is what he's saying. And so, yeah, there was backlash today, you know, after the Vegas signing. You know, it's a
from where, like the organization itself,
has
like
triggered
people
some
in the
people.
organization?
Yeah, I think mostly just around the league fan base related. You know, those who maybe don't know all the facts or the details that led to, you know, the legal determination, and then, you know, the things that the National Hockey League has put in place. Keep in mind, Carter Hart, even though he's on the tryout and ultimately will get the contract from the Vegas Golden Knights, these players can't play until December 1st.
Right.
So October 15th was simply a date in which the contract could be registered with the National Hockey League.
With Darren Dreger, Pierre, LeBrun,
and it's worth noting, like, again, there's no easy answer to this conversation, because it's obviously a story that, you know, there are some people in society that believe those players should never play again in the NHL, and that's clearly not what the NHL has decided. But when news surfaced that Carolina was considering signing McLeod, for example, there was considerable backlash among some Hurricanes fans, and I think it's affected Carolina's thinking on it, where they're probably not going ahead with that now. So again, it's not one of those conversations where it's just about hockey.